Hi, welcome to Raj Alnai. In today's video, I am going to discuss about a case study which is relating to data migration. As we all see nowadays, whenever we are working on the application development in reference to the projects nowadays, based on the requirements of the customer, all that. So not only the applications right from the scratch we are developing, even there are some projects where we have to migrate the data. This is where generally data migration related projects we can see nowadays. Not only data migration, even we can see some applications where we want to transform from legacy application to the new applications is all about. So in regard to that, I have just taken a case study relating to the data migration part. So this is the case study which is majorly useful for the people, especially for business analyst professionals majorly. But of course, this is useful even for technical people who are applying for job opportunities and whoever wants to explain the projects what they have done so far, right? So if they want to explain all that, any technical person, either they can be a role of a business analyst or a developer role or etc. One need to have a knowledge over how you have to explain it and how the case is all about. So how you need to understand and how you need to explain. So this is something useful when someone is applying for job opportunities whenever they are attending for interview. So these kind of videos are more helpful. That's what I strongly believe in. So that they can explore more how they have to explain all that. At the same time, this is even used exclusively for any business analyst role, where being a BA, we need to understand the requirements of the customer and proposing solutions accordingly. In this process, how do we communicate with our stakeholders, especially with technical team, so that whatever the related applications are we developing and all everything, this is where generally they have to explain in a form of presentation or in a form of maybe by presenting some technical white papers and all that. People should have that knowledge and experience to becoming more successful. In regard to this case study is what I'm explaining. So this is a case study relating to data migration using new storage paradigms for an insurance solution provider. Now, whenever we are trying to understand a case study or a project, or whenever we are trying to explain this to the people, whoever is required in our professional career, the first thing we must be knowing about the customer. So first of all, we have to explain who our customers are, right? So because you can see here, I have already mentioned here, right? So the customer is a leader in providing general insurance technology solutions. This is what generally the customer was. So whatever the expertise the customer has, that was mentioned here, right? So customer is expertise in providing technology systems. At the same time, solution across the entire insurance sector and all that. So these are the major areas where a customer is experienced of, right? So this is where generally the brief introduction we have to give when and wherever it is needed about the customer here. Now, what are the areas customer is providing solution? This is where it is, right? So they are ranging from distributed to trading and as well as capabilities to advanced analytics and solutions delivery. These are the expertise areas which being a customer they are having. So you can see over here, ranging from, right? These are the area, right? So ranging from distributed, right? So distributed and trading capabilities to advanced analytics and solution delivery. These are the expertise which that particular customer is having. And they are the one who are providing some technology systems and solutions, allow everything for the insurance sector. So this is how generally we need to understand in context to the customer is all about. Point number one. So after customer explanation and all, we need to explain the challenges, because unless until if there is no challenge, so why customer is approaching? So this is where generally we have to explain the challenge. What was the challenge here? The challenge here is as follows. Customer offer customizable software insurance packages to their clients, which is a common activity, because whatever that software packages they are offering to their customers and all is a common activity. That is what we are trying to say. But since they need to support multiple databases, they want a solution that would support data migration across major databases. This is where generally being a individual, when we are trying to understand or when we are trying to explain the kind of problem what they are facing and all that, so it was mentioned here clearly, right? So they need to support multiple databases because they wanted a solution that would support data migration across major database vendors and allow them to provide multiple database support. So whatever I have underlined with you so far, so this is where generally the problem which customer is facing as part of developing customized software services and all everything in reference to the insurance sector itself is concerned. They are facing a problem. What problem is they are facing? Problem means the requirement. What requirement they have? They wanted a kind of solution. That solution must support the data migration across major database vendors, because this data migration where they want to see, this is majorly from major database vendors and all. At the same time, it also allows them to provide multiple databases support and all that, right? So this is what generally the problem or as well as the need which customer has, right? So this is where I'm writing here. I can say this is where generally we talk about the need, right? So whatever the business need customer is having, this is where generally you can connect with, right? So this is what generally we call it as business need which customer has. Now, the next point. However, the API that they have used to import data into their system lacked specific features to their client data while migrating and needed to be rewritten every time for the client. So this is where the actual problem they have written, because as part of the need, whatever we have seen, this need is something connecting to the problem. What was the problem? API they have used means whatever the application programming interfaces they are using, irrespective of it, either it can be RESTful API or SOAP APIs, etc., etc., used for importing data into their system, lacked specific features pertaining to the client data while migrating and needed to be rewritten every time for the client need, for their client. This is where generally the problem as well as the challenge which organization is facing. So this is one kind of problem I can say, right? So one kind of, I can say it's a kind of business problem which they are facing, which we have to understand here. At the same time, so because of that, what is resulting in? This is resulting in that they were facing cost overrun and time delays with their projects. So these are the impacted areas. What is getting impacted? What is that we are getting impacted because of this? This is what generally the impact is because of the problem. What is getting impacted here because of the problem? This is getting impacted. What is getting impacted? Here it was mentioned very clear. What was that? Facing cost overruns and at the same time delays with their projects. This is where generally most of the facing cost overruns and time delays. These are the two impacted areas which most of the people are facing, especially in reference to the project. These are the impacted areas. So whenever we are trying to understand the case study or a project, this is how you need to understand so that it gives a clear understanding over when we are working on it. Next, here there is a solution we have given. What is the solution here? The solution is as follows. Solution is that proposing a modularization solution with each module begins with customer specific to avoid need to rebuild the whole solution every time. This is what generally they are trying to explain the modernization of solution. So for that, they need to understand the scope of engagement. What is the scope of engagement? First point, building a solution accelerator tool from scratch with the customer existing API databases. This is one of the key element, right? Because building for solution accelerator tool right from the scratch and all everything is what generally the customer existing APIs as a base is what it was. At the same time, because of it, what will happen? It's a generic tool which can be adapted to any new client requirement involving a new set of data without needing to rewrite the entire code. This is what generally the benefit is, right? So this is what we call it as benefit. What was the benefit? Because of this building a solution accelerator tool. So whatever the generic tool they were developing, because of that, what customer can have a benefit? Customer can have a benefit that no need to, without need not to rewrite or entire the code all the time is what generally the benefit customer will get. Because when we are providing a solution, end of the day, that should be a value added service for the customer. Then only our application will have a value. Otherwise, there will be of no value. So this is the first point, scope. Next point, if you can see here, introduced an interfacial database which serves as the source of customers of all data, right? So because it is one more benefit, you can see what are the benefits and all. So which serves as the sources of one more data is also one of the key benefit. Next, third point, designing an intermediate database according to the customer CCP, credit card protection, product structure to develop the process. This is also one of the key advantage and element which customer is going and will get out of it. Next, at the same time, solution was compartmentalized in such a way that they can modify any of the compartments with minimal efforts, which gives an advantage of reusability. So reusability is what generally one of the key benefit in this. So when we are going to develop a solution, end of the day, there must be an ROI. What is ROI? Stands for return of investment. Return of investment need not be money all the time, right? For example, customer is investing some X amount of money for a data migration of their projects and all. Against to that return of investment in terms of the quality services in which will enhance the business process is what customer expects. So those points we are studying now. Okay, I hope you guys have understand this. Next, added a host of features like performance check, early request queries listed to its API and all, right? So this is one more advantage. At the same time, it also includes an error handling mechanism feature. Error handling mechanism feature is also one of the key benefit. What it helps in rectification of errors related issues. This is also one of the key advantage which customer can benefit out of the solution. What is that we are developing, right? So this is what it was. Now the next point is about technology snapshot, right? So whatever the technologies are we going to use here, so that information was mentioned over here, right? So JMS, Java Messaging Services and all, DB2 as a database, Maven and all, right, etc., etc. So these are the technology snapshots. Being a technical evaluation, team has identified to develop this application. Assume that team has decided and team has identified developing on these things will have a benefit, right? So this is what an understanding over the technology snapshot. After the technology snapshot, these are the benefits. What are the business benefits? Because here we have discussed straight away on the scope of the project. But end of the day, what are the business benefits was mentioned here. What are the business benefits here? The business benefits are as follows. The first one, as it is a generic tool in the system requires minimal customization, ultimately saves development effort. Development effort is also a benefit. At the same time, it also significantly reduces the cost of future implementation, because most of the organizations, this is valid point you have to understand, reducing the cost of future implementation, because any organization, as part of managing their business processes for a long time, upgrading their technology to the next level, which is essentially important and inevitable. As in this process, which should be continued, there is a challenge which most of the people, any organization usually, because end of the day, it is all cost matters. There is a challenge most of the organizations, especially mid-level and low-level organizations. If it's in large-scale organizations, of course, they have enough financial resources to support. But whereas for mid-level and low-level organizations, any future enhancements to be made and all everything, which will be a difficult and challenging task. It is not easy, right, to sustain and to enhance, right? So because a lot of technology expertise required, infrastructure is needed. Not every organization will be financially good enough, right? Because there will be some budding organizations, maybe small organizations, which they are growing slow by one. So these organizations faces cost kind of difficulty when they want any kind of future enhancements or future implement, because future implementation they have to make it, because as the business is growing, as the business is moving on to the next level, it is always important for them to enhance to the next level, which is something essentially important. So as they are expecting, so as they want to make changes, automatically it increases the cost. So some one way or other way, sometime it will be a burden for the any of the business person, right? So reducing the cost in future implementation is one of the key element. So, and how much it can be reduced is also mentioned, right? Reduce 70% of effort of the development side is what it was. This is one thing. Next, save development cost by 60%. Of course, that's what I have discussed with you. Also slashed implementation time by 50%, because implementation also takes time. So that is come down to 15%. More than by more than 50% implementation cost has been slashed. So this is also one of the key business benefits which out of the solution which a customer can attain, right? Customer can reach, right? This is one thing. Next, data cleaning and purification helps to improve the quality and accuracy of the data, thereby making implementation faster and more efficient. Because when the data will be slow, when there is no data cleaning and purification methodology, it was not there, what will happen automatically? There is no fastness of the work, because implementation and all everything won't be faster, because there is no structured data which is available. There is no data cleaning, right? Unnecessary data cleaning. For example, we are using laptops, etc., right? Mobiles nowadays. So every time unnecessary data has to be removed from that. Then only that processor speed will be much faster. And we can use our laptops and desktops effectively, mobiles effectively, right? So always cleaning the junk files and all everything is always important. In the same manner, whenever we are working on the projects, data cleaning and purification should also be done, so that it also improves the quality and accuracy of the data. So that what is that resulting in implementing faster and more efficient. So these are the business benefits a customer will get out of it. Now, what are the future impacts? The future impacts are as follows. The future impacts is, as in when we can see, provide customer a simple and easy to handle and high performance of data migration solution. With the new solution, the customer can manage data and support migration across multiple databases, right? So the advantage here is easy to handle and high performance data migration solution. Because of the solution, the customer can manage data and support data migration across multiple databases. This is the underlined point we need to understand. Managing data and support migration across multiple databases. This is what the area we have to be focused more of. let me underline this. This is the key element. Okay, because we have, see, there will be a lot of information customer gives as part of interacting with the stakeholders, all that. So there are some key points which sometimes due to ignorance customer may not be provided, or through documentation customer will give you the information. Either you may be a business analyst majorly to understand with, or maybe any technical person should understand the actual essence of it. So the reason why I'm explaining this case studies and all everything in regular intervals, so that it will enhances your expertise of reading, because how to read and understand the document is important in these days, because there will be a lot of information which will be available in documents when we are providing solutions. But unfortunately, reading will be becoming less nowadays, right? So reading, but if you are improving the reading, this thing and all, we can get more understanding over what we have, whatever the information we have. Okay, so on that grounds I'm explaining. Okay, come back to the point. So managing data and supporting migrating across multiple databases is one of the key elements. At the same time, improved rate of quality and migration would not only help them quickly to realize the high ROI, which stands for return of investment, on their investment, but also what was the advantage? Enable them to acquire major customers with large business base in the long run. This is what one of the key business benefit a customer will get. Because in the beginning also I've told you, a customer is investing some X amount of money to make us to provide a solution, means they expect some ROI, return of investment. Return of investment need not be in terms of the financials. For example, a business has expanded, a business has succeeded, a business have gone to the next level. Automatically, the financials of the organization will also increase. They get revenue, right? So end of the day, whoever is investing money, they expect some return of investment in terms of the quality services deliverables. That is where we have to be on that. By keeping that into an account, we have to provide solution. That is majorly important, right? So because as long as if you are not trying to understand those objectives of the business, then whatever the solution are we going to provide, as you are a role of a business analyst, or you may be a technical person, because business analyst, technical people, everybody will work together to provide the solution, because BA will give business solution, that again will be translating into a technical solution by the help of technical people. So understanding the real requirement of the customer, where what customer exactly is expecting, and how to make it in reality, how to make it completed in reality, is what being a business analyst or the technical team one should understand, right? So because of that, what is happening, enable them to acquire major customers with large business databases in long run, because any business requires a long run flourishment, right? Because short term benefits will sustain us for some time, but long term benefits will give the growth in the business. This is how usually this case study is all about. I hope you guys have understood what exactly I have explained you so far, right? So what is that, all that, right? So I think you might have understood it. This is all about this case study. If you have any queries, if you have any questions in regard to that, and if you have any training and coaching requirements in reference to the training relating to BA, or relating to the project-based training, either for a business analyst or for the technical people, in irrespective of the domains, all that, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.